Welcome back, everybody, to the Breakout podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ethan.
I'm Akira. Welcome back.
There you go.
Good to have you
And
guys.
today we
I'm Chris.
have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name's Chris. Former
go.
teacher at DTech.
Mr. Wall.
You might have heard of Mr. Wall. I could always put that up.
The legend, Mr. Wall, has come to our podcast today. He's graced us with his presence. How are you doing, Mr. Wall?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it's I'm getting the hang of this. Now they're going to show it. They're going to change it all.
I know. The Zoom. Yeah. I know, right? When you get into it. All right, Mr. Wall, we're going to start off. What makes science interesting to you?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
good question.
And when you just say science, it has nothing to do with teaching?
I mean, it can be. It's whatever science is to you. I was thinking more of the subject.
Yeah, it's just what's interesting to me is it's a way of pursuing things about the universe that are true and fascinating. So I've recently been thinking about, how our brain produces consciousness. It sort of just comes out. So in your head, there's just trillions of interactions happening between neurons and chemicals. And from that, it just sort of emerges that you're conscious and that that thing doesn't exist any more than a rainbow exists. Or if you've ever watched like the sky, a little cloud you might see, and then slowly the cloud starts growing bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know if you have that experience, but all the molecules are the same. Nothing is different about the whole thing. The cloud doesn't really exist except for in the way we're looking at it. And so that's about, it was a book on time and whether time exists, and all those things just fascinate me. What things can you observe in the universe that can sort of show you things that are about yourself? I mean, your mind. I have no access to your mind, and you have no access to mine. We have to try to communicate like this, and it's pretty inadequate to get what we're really thinking and communicate it to the other person. It's a secret place up there in your consciousness that, yeah. So that's just what I'm into trying to find out now is just reading about, what happens with consciousness and everything. So I just like science. Yeah, always have.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. Like you mentioned, the little intricacies that people like barely think about. I think that's pretty interesting. Akira?
So Mr. O, what made you want to teach science? What caused you to become a teacher?
Well, I was in the Army. I joined the Army after graduating from UCLA because there wasn't any jobs to be had. And and I got married, and my wife and I were living in Germany in a nice house and really nice part of Germany. And we lived there for 4.5 years. But we decided that, we'd like to start a family. And, I'd get deployed, I'd get off to conflicts. They'd send me away for as much as a year. And I knew a lot of my friends who had children, and they, they'd come back from the deployment and their kids wouldn't even know who they are. And I just thought, wow, that kind of sucks. Maybe I'd been in the Army like 6 years, and I thought, maybe we can get out. And a group from Louisiana came called the Troops to Teachers to Germany, and they gave a presentation. And they said, you could go back to California and teach math because you have a degree in engineering. And so I said, okay, good to go. I'm going to go back I'm getting out of the Army. I know I can get a job. And, I went into Hillsdale High School and said, I think I could teach math. I'm just getting out of the Army and I have a degree in engineering. And they said, okay, well, you start in 2 weeks. And I thought, well, wait a second. Do you have isn't there like a credential thing? And isn't there some kind of training or whatever? No, you'll be all right. So they gave me an emergency credential, and I got my ass kicked by a bunch of 14-year-olds that were freshmen in math. I mean, it was horrific. but I survived it. And I'm better for it. And so then, this is a 10-month assignment, because it's was an emergency credential. They wanted credentialed teachers, but there just wasn't enough to go around.
Mhm.
And so I got fired because they said I was doing a great job, but it's just like, well, it's just temporary anyway. So it wasn't really being fired. It's more like, yeah, we're not going to offer you a job next year. So then I went into Notre Dame High School. My wife said, why don't you try Notre Dame High School? And I said, isn't that like an all girls Catholic school or something like that? And she said, yeah. And I thought, wow, that's pretty scary. But I went in there, and I talked to a woman named Rita Gleason, and she said, well, you start in 2 weeks. And I said, okay, great. And it went on from there. I spent 15 years at Notre Dame, and when the job for physics, because I taught math, and math is brutal to teach because most kids, it's just not like their passion. They're like, Mr. Wall, you're killing me. You're killing me, Walls. That's what I hear all the time. And because, yeah, it's math, and you got to keep doing it and working on it. And it's, there's not a lot of, I don't know. I love it. So it doesn't, to me, I like it. I like math. But when the science position came open, I said, hey, I think I could teach physics. And they said, no, you can't do it. And so they hired this woman who had a doctoral degree in physics from Princeton.
Oh,
I said, well, holy crap.
makes sense, yeah.
And she could not teach. It was just terrible for the kids because, she's a wonderful person, but she just couldn't get down on a 14-year-old's level, or that time it was 18-year-olds because physics was a senior class.
Mhm.
These white boxes that you like flip that says do A first and then B, and you make the box.
That's it. So what?
She couldn't figure out how to do that. She could show you all kinds of math. Crazy, solved every math problem, but she couldn't figure that. So she just duct taped the whole thing together on the bottom. And I just thought that's so amusing, because there's a person who's so intellectual and so smart and so capable, but at a nuts and bolts level, completely clueless. And so then they gave me a try, and it worked out. And I taught physics for a long time there, and then I moved to DTech and taught it there for 4 years. Yeah.
Great. Wow. So you were really just thrown into the world of teaching, like no training whatsoever, or?
Oh no! Then the training came. There's a lot of you've never done training when you're a teacher. There's always professional development and different things you have to go to. But yeah, I went to San Francisco State through the credentialing program. I got my credential in mathematics and physics, and so now I can go into a public school and say, instead of, well, gee, I'm out of the Army, I'm pretty motivated, man. I'm pretty sure I could teach math. You say, well, I'm a credentialed teacher, 20 years experience, and so things are better now.
So when you were in the Army, like what were you thinking would your career path would be? Because I imagine you didn't know you wanted to be a teacher until this presentation came. So were you planning on staying in the Army like permanently, or?
It was sort of well, let me give it a try thing. My wife is German, so she's fluent in German. And I thought, well, there's a good chance we could be stationed in Germany. And that's what wound up happening. And she got a really good job at Siemens over there as a Fernsprachsekretärin, and that means you're a foreign language secretary. And and in the Army, I trained for repairing helicopters, so I was a helicopter mechanic, and that was really fun. I loved working on the aircraft, and have a lot of just really fond memories of working on aircraft. And and so then I chose that because my degree was in aerospace engineering, and I thought, well, I can't get a job. Maybe this will give me something I can say. I'm familiar with all the ways that aircraft are manufactured and repaired. I was airframe repair, so I'd fix the airframe of the helicopters.
Mhm.
And because a friend of mine was a structural engineer, and he said, well, the reason why they hired me is because I worked for 3 years as a carpenter, and I got really familiar with the way buildings are put together and what, so you get like what you might think of as sort of like street smarts as opposed to book smarts, and that's valuable to know what's going on. So I thought, yeah, I'll do that. And yeah, I had a great time in the military. It was nice. It's nothing like it you see on TV at all.
Yeah.
It's totally different, or in movies. It's always in movies and TVs. It's always these group of people shooting people and getting shot and having this horrific experience of trying to save their best friend who's dying. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen. It does. But for the 99 out of 100 of the rest of us, it's not that way at all. And yeah, but it was good and a good experience. And yeah, I almost sometimes think, geez, I should have just stayed. 20 years, you get a full retirement, and it would have only been 14. But anyway, so yeah, there isn't any like some people are like this. I've had students like this. In fact, I had one that her mom was angry at me because I gave her a B, and she says now she'll never get into Brown University. And I'm thinking, so they have their entire life planned out as if that's the way it's actually going to happen. I mean, I already have issues with predicting the future if it's just like, what am I going to be doing next week? And these people had everything planned out. It's like, not going to happen probably that way at all. And so then I was somewhere where it's just like, this is what I'm going to try. It's going to give me some good experience, and I don't know where I'll go with it. And, I was actually going to stay in Germany and work for a civilian helicopter repair facility. But my father-in-law said, well, if you guys come back here to California, then I'll give you this house. And so it wasn't just the troops of teachers that got me back. That was the job. And so then, yeah, unlike other people, I own my own house. So it's pretty, it's okay for the whole COVID thing and everything. I know I've got a place to go. I don't have to pay rent. Awesome. So many people are unemployed that, so yeah, I'm a very fortunate person.
Yeah. That's good. Do you have any like specific stories from either the Army or Germany that you've been itching to tell or something? I mean, we'd be glad to hear. Anything?
I got a ton of stories. I mean, we could be here all day.
Do you have any highlights?
You want an Army story?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. Just at the beginning of the Army, like if you decided to join the Army, you go through basic training. And for me, I know you guys probably don't view me this way, but I am scared shitless of talking to anybody, and especially a group. After 20 years of teaching, I would walk through that fear and sort of be okay with it. But some days I just feel like vomiting. I mean, bizarre but true. I don't know if you saw me on the stage when they were doing the graduation and I was supposed to give a speech. Maybe not, but I was up there and I couldn't give that speech. I instead sang a song because I
remember that. Yeah,
I couldn't give the speech. I mean, I was going to really wet my pants, vomit. And so here I am in the Army, and now I'm in charge of marching everybody around because I was a little older. And there was like 350 people, and I had to like yell out these cadences and get them to march where they're supposed to go. And I mean, just send me in a foxhole in a war, man, because that's much better. That experience was so horrific to me. But I got used to that too, and I have some good Army cadences, I think. But yeah, that was bad about that. But probably one of the funniest things about basic training was my drill sergeants. One was a big black woman, and another one was this small white guy with a really kind of talk like this. And the white guy would be the good guy, and the black woman was the bad guy. They do good guy, bad guy on you. Okay. And I had this friend. His name was Forrest. He was from Jamaica, and he could not march. Everything was with a reggae beat, so he'd always try to march to the half beat. And it's like, Forrest, man, you got it. Like, it's just so he says, no, I can't do it, man. It's not. And so the drill sergeant would have him doing push-ups, right? And she was like, and he's like, drill sergeant, you're pushing me too hard. And he then related that has fallen in love with the drill sergeant, and that she is so beautiful and so sexy and everything. So he'd get in trouble on purpose so that she would come over and start making him do push-ups and everything.
What?
Very funny. Very
That's
funny.
ridiculous. Awesome, bro.
It's amazing.
Wow. That took some turns. Oh yeah. I mean, that's great. We got to get you back on for another episode sometime, and we'll just go through all your stories, man. That's awesome.
Good stories.
That was great. Yeah. So, I mean, we know you from D-Tech, obviously. I think our main audience is D-Tech. So, like, what was your favorite part about teaching at D-Tech?
My favorite part was having this experience of sort of a growth part that was both the most difficult and challenging thing, but also it's like, wow, I get to do this. And so I'm coming out of 15 years at an all-girls Catholic school, which everything is, well, why do we do it this way? Because that's how we've always done it. That's why. It makes perfect logical sense. And then I'm into this school that's like, okay, we're going to reinvent everything. Everything you're going to do. I mean, your job is to figure out how to make this extreme personalization and, competency-based learning and all that stuff work, because nobody's really come up with something that's working all that great right from the get-go. So it's just the idea that, wow, I could try all kinds of things in the classroom, not just could try. Dr. Montgomery says you have to try different things. I mean, this isn't a matter of, you can't just, the reason why we hire people is because we need to do things and make things different. And whereas I came out of sort of like, new? Oh, hell no. And it had to go through all these committees, and everybody had to be okay with it. And everybody, and then in the end, a lot of times they said, no, you can't do that. And you just feel like, so frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah, D-Tech was different. And it, and I learned a lot there. But it's brutal doing that though, because it's a lot of work. And by the end of the day, I became sort of burned out. It was just sort of like, the kids are kids. I always love kids. So it wasn't the kids really weren't any different,
That's fair enough. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Akira?
So overall in your lifetime, I guess, what was your favorite career, just in general? If it was the army or teaching, or if you had any other jobs?
Well, I mean, on any given day, whatever I was doing, whether it was teaching, or I had a small business that I had started delivery service, and whether it was delivering or whatever it would be, any given day it would be like, this is a miserable, awful, terrible hell of an existence. And the next day I'd be like, wow, boy, I love this so much. So, trying to come up with, well, what was, your favorite thing? I think I just enjoyed all the different things. I'm a person who, I have to be doing something different. If it stays the same, I mean, like in high school, I've taught pre-algebra, algebra 2, geometry, statistics, calculus, chemistry, physical science, physics, AP physics, because it's like I just need something new. And D-Tech, you could do the little mini courses, and those are always fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's something new. And the delivery service, I built up a delivery service with 18 accounts where I deliver for pharmacies and flower shops and all those kinds of things when I was your guys' age. But after 5 or 6 years, it really got kind of boring. It's fun being your own boss though, because um, you do have the option of telling somebody else to put it where the sun don't shine. That happened to me a few times. Like, because nobody's gonna chew my ass because I'm the boss. It's like, I could just tell them, I don't want to work with this person. When you get a job where you're working for somebody else, I mean, yeah, the whole point is that they're paying you to do what they're telling you to do, and so you just be okay with it. You're getting money. You know, if you disagree with the boss, just keep your mouth shut and keep doing what the boss wants. Because don't you want that job? I mean, so it's a different thing. And yeah, I got to say though, there were some things in the Army that were pretty damn fun. I
Yeah.
like that too. I mean, I met the president of the United States. Bill Clinton came, and my wife and I get to shake his hand and said, "Oh yeah, we're sending you off to Haiti." I mean, and I got to walk onto a 747 with M16 and 210 rounds of ammunition.
Wow.
'Cause we're gonna fly to Port-au-Prince. It's like, wow, this is weird. What was great about the Army was that you'd see stuff on the news, international news and stuff, and you'd say, "Oh well, here it comes," and you know exactly what you're gonna have to do. But, and then there wasn't. It was sort of this feeling like, I'm part of something that's huge, that's greater, that's so much greater than myself, and I don't know. Somehow that was just sort of pretty cool. Yeah, I liked it.
Mr. Wall, you've had an incredible, I mean, so many different experiences. Like, so about like the delivery service, like how did that work? You had other employees and
Well, how it worked was that I didn't graduate from high school,
Mhm.
and it was like, where am I going with life? And I was doing deliveries for a person to get some money, and then he quit. He just quit the job. So I had like 4 accounts to start with, and most of these places are out of business now. They're like on Burlingame Avenue. In Burlingame, they had Burlingame Foods, Burlingame Drug, all these different places. And I would go into this place and say, "Hey, if you give me $2, I'll deliver a packet, any package you want to, Burlingame or Hillsborough." And being the guy that I am, that's so comfortable going and talking to other people and talking to I mean, that was pretty hard,
Mhm.
but I got through it, and so then it became something where I could be successful. I wasn't successful at high school. I didn't like high school. Um, didn't like talking to people, that kind of thing. I forgot which question was anyway.
So it was like freelance. You really you
Uh,
walked into businesses and told them you'd work for a few dollars, and then they just
yeah, yeah. And so then as it grew, well, I'd get about 100 packages a day. So I was making about between 200 and $250 a day, 7 days a week, or 6 days a week rather. I didn't work Sundays.
And how long
So
did you run this
so
business?
I was banking in the bucks, man. $2 doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have like, oh, Burlingame Drug, oh yeah, I have 15 packages for you to deliver. Shit, there's $30. As you go through the day, and I would stop by, I'd just do my runs up and down, the whole area, and each company I would stop by 3 times a day. And like the grocery stores, Burlingame Food Store would just put the groceries in the cooler, and I would just come by and pick them up. That was $5 for those. It's a little bit bigger than just a package. So yeah, it was nice. It was, and then it started getting to the point where, well, I can't get any more accounts because I just can't do all the things. So um, I asked a friend of mine who's still my friend. We still talk today. If he'd help me out. And so then the two of us were doing the packet, doing all the deliveries, and we built up a little bit bigger. But there's this certain point that you have to, um, I'd have to get all legit. First of all, it was all under the table, so I wasn't paying any taxes or anything. And to get legit required quite a big jump in the number of packages that I would need every day, because I'd be paying taxes, I'd be trying, you know, workman's compensation, all these different things. And I just say, yeah, it's just not going to work. I'm not going to be able to swing that. Somebody else with a little bit more perseverance might have been able to do it. But besides that, I wanted to go to UCLA at that point, and it was time to transfer. I'd gone to CSM, and yeah.
So this was right after high school, except
I was during high school.
during? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I started doing deliveries for Bob during high school, and then my senior in high school, I took over the company, which wasn't very many accounts. It was like 4, and I built it up to like 18, and
Wow.
it
Yeah,
was
well,
too it was too many.
we expanded the business.
Yeah.
We kept it running. That's awesome.
For these deliveries, would you like walk? Would you drive? Would you bike? Or like how? Would
Oh
you...
no, yeah, I had a delivery car. I had a Volkswagen, 2-tone Volkswagen van,
Oh,
and there was this is where I learned a physics lesson. There was a place called Floating Fantasies on Broadway in Burlingame. They did balloon bouquets, and so then I would get it in my van. And when you step on the gas, normally everything else goes sliding to the back, but the balloons are lighter than everything else. They go moving and cover up the windshield. They move for the front when you put on the gas. And then when you slam on the brakes, they go back to the back of the van. So you had to make sure you had them tied down. That place was great because they had this little faux tux. And if I sang happy birthday while I'm giving the balloons, I got $20. I'm like, yeah, man.
Wow.
20 bucks. That's back then. That was like $50, right? I'll sing a song, So, Floating Fantasies.
Did, did you have the van before? Or did you buy it just for?
No, I bought it for the deliveries.
Wow.
I had to buy it for the delivery. Yeah.
You took this seriously. And I think Akira asked, how long was this stint of running the business?
It was about 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, from when I was 18 to when I was 23.
And it was daily. I mean,
I had to. There was. Oh, that's another problem is that there isn't any calling in sick. I mean, I had to work 6 days a week, every week of the year. Valentine's Day. Oh fuck! You're getting like 350 packages. You're working till midnight. I had to be in at like 4 in the morning and start and work all day till Christmas. Oh man.
oh no.
I'm still complaining about it.
a lot of packages.
Hopefully you got paid more though, no? For the holiday?
Again?
You got paid more for the holiday? No.
It was per package is what I got paid. So then for Easter the reason I get paid more is because there's more deliveries. Valentine's Day, there's candy and flowers and yeah. So you get paid more because, well, if you have 350 deliveries to do, it's going to take you a little while.
I had a question. How's your painting, Mr. Wall? Is that one of yours behind you?
Oh yeah, this is the painting.
That's awesome.
Behind me.
Is it a recent one that you made?
Fairly recent. Yeah.
That's cool.
There's the old school I used to work at.
Wow, look at that.
Here's Mr. Wall at Notre Dame.
Oh my god.
Whoa! I didn't know you had long hair.
Yeah, it was down to my butt. Here's a painting I did of the Golden Gate Bridge on New Year's.
So did you just take like your canvas down to the beach and you just?
Oh no, I did it from a photograph I took.
Okay. Gotcha.
This is like an alien woman and her planet. It's a getaway planet.
That's so cool, jeez.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are awesome.
So yeah, I like to. And Wednesday tonight, I do my oil painting class. It's nice with Zoom, because all the people doing what they do is they put the camera on the work they're painting they're currently doing, and then the instructor just points out each thing that maybe where you could do something better here or there or whatever. It's just fun. I have a hard time painting. Like here's the painting that I'm working on right now. I'll show you. Let me see. Hold on a second. It's I don't paint unless I'm painting with other people. So
oh geez, that's huge.
Yeah, it is huge.
Look at that.
It looks so good.
The colors aren't right because the camera doesn't pick up green, so things that look gray are actually green.
Wow. Look at that.
So this is my man cave.
Yeah.
And yeah, here's D-Tech.
Look at that. Wow. My
Wow,
God.
that actually looks really good. It looks.
That's the window outside the physics room.
Oh,
So, like, how long would one painting take you? Are you working at one at a time?
Like this big painting is taking a long time because I'm enjoying just putting new things in it. Like my instructor said, well, you should put a person in it on the bridge, and so then that's what I'm going to be doing today. But some paintings, like the one I did of Notre Dame High School, what happened was they were doing pointillism paintings for physics, and they left all their stuff. So I just took it and went out in front of the high school, and it took about 2 hours, which that's
Awesome.
where is it? That's this one. It took about 2 hours.
Awesome.
2 hours.
Consecutive? You didn't, no break?
No, yeah, I just sat out by Ralston Avenue and painted it.
Awesome. That's great.
This is the Army. I'm the guy who's getting his foot pulled.
Where are you?
This is me. I'm the guy getting my foot pulled.
Oh, you're the guy getting the foot pulled. Look at that.
Crash Hawks. Yeah.
What kind of, you remember what kind of helicopter that is, or
It's
where
a
you?
Black Hawk. It's
In
a
Germany?
UH-60 Black Hawk.
Wow. That's awesome.
Interesting.
You got any more images or paintings or anything you want to share?
Sure, I guess.
I mean,
Here's one where I took a bet that they wouldn't be able to raise enough money, and I said, I'll put cornrows in my hair if you raise that much money. And they did.
Really did cornrows.
So, yeah, and the braids and stuff, this took forever.
Oh my
How
God.
long did it take you to grow out your hair, Mr. Wall?
My hair grows roughly an inch a month. You can see it was very short, but you can see since the COVID thing, you can't get a haircut. My hair's getting long.
A month, jeez.
So if it's gonna be 3 feet long, it took 3 years.
Sure. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Wall. I think we're gonna close out with.
All right.
Do you have any advice for anyone about anything really, like teaching or just being a starter?
Advice. Keep an open mind.
Keep an open mind.
Be patient.
Mm-hmm.
Be compassionate. And accepting. Accept life the way it is. Don't try to plan it out and fix it all.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Wise words.
Yeah, acceptance. That's the key to my sanity.
I'm gonna use and Mr. Wall, I just want to say that like you were one of the greatest teachers I ever had. I think a lot of people share that sentiment, and
I agree.
yeah, I mean, we learned a lot from you, not just about physics, but like about life. And I mean, thank you for coming on today, and thank you for being an awesome teacher in person.
Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome.
I'm honored. Thank you.
It's good seeing you.
All right.
Well, will you do a favor for me quick? We need a thumbnail for the YouTube video.
What are you talking about?
A picture that we just need.
We need a picture, Mr. Wall.
A pose or something. Just a thumbs up or a smile or a wave or something. We do that?
Oh, you want me to pose?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pose.
And you're going to screenshot it, and then that's going to, okay. You want a thumbs up?
Yeah, there you go. All right, Jacob.
How's that?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, great. All right, Mr. Wall. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wall.
Thank
Hey,
you,
this was
Mr.
fun.
Wall.
Thanks.
Yeah, we
Good
had a great
seeing
time.
you.
Yes,
All right.
great seeing you.
Take care.